Friends of the iron and fitness, welcome to this video. Today we'll talk about one of the most controversial events in the history of bodybuilding, the 1980 Mr. Olympia. One of the most aesthetic competition of bodybuilding's golden era. Bodies, poses, characters. But something dark happened that day. The real spark of the controversy lies in the dramatic clash between the main contenders, each with their own training philosophy and distinctive physique. The first, the six-time champion, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the surprise return. Seeking his seventh crown in a comeback that left everyone speechless, his very presence. He was there as a commentator and announced his participation at the last minute. Many saw it as an act of arrogance, almost like, "I'll show you how it's done," even after 5 years of retirement. Arnold's approach was classic golden era volume training. The idea was to bombard the muscles with a massive amount of work to stimulate massive growth. He trained twice a day and did workouts 5 to 6 days out of 7. He often trained each muscle group twice a week. He used extensive sets, often 20 to 30 sets per muscle group, with moderate repetitions, 8 to 12, and intensity techniques such as supersets and giant sets. Scientific research and the experience of athletes and coaches tend to favour a more effective balance between intensity of effort, total work volume, and the need for optimal recovery. In this context, a radically opposite alternative is represented by the heavy-duty philosophy, developed by legendary bodybuilder and training theorist Mike Mentzer. Mentzer, winner of the 1979 Mr. Olympia in the heavyweight division, but losing to Zane in the absolute, and known for his intelligence and intellectual approach to bodybuilding, argued that muscle growth was stimulated only by extremely high intensity, not by a massive number of sets. His method favoured performing very few sets, often just 1 or 2 per exercise, taken to absolute muscular failure and beyond, followed by a much longer recovery, advocating the principle of train less, recover more.
In order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose. Once your goal is sharply but realistically defined, all that remains is carrying out your plan. Don't, however, worry about your individual potential. Potential is only the expression of a possibility, something that can be assessed accurately only in retrospect. In other words, you'll never know how good you might have become unless you try. So let's get with it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's golden era diet was a high-calorie, high-protein regimen. Over 5,000 kilocalories, approximately 300 grams of protein per day for muscle anabolism. The primary food sources for muscle synthesis were animal proteins, red meat, beef, hamburger, whole eggs, fish, and dairy products, whole milk, ricotta for casein. Complex carbohydrates, brown rice, potatoes, and oats for workout energy. Fats, essential for hormonal function, derived from protein sources and the addition of olive oil or nuts. Multivitamin supplementation completed the micronutrient intake, maintaining a strong protein priority and adjusting macronutrients based on the phase, bulking or cutting. Contrary to many bodybuilders of the time who favoured low-carb diets, Mentzer maintained that carbohydrates were the primary source of energy needed for high-intensity training and to maintain muscle mass. He encouraged the consumption of whole grains and fruit. One of his most controversial views was that bodybuilders needed much less protein than previously believed. He argued that a moderate intake, such as about 70 grams per day, for an athlete of his weight, was sufficient for muscle growth and maintenance, as excess was not utilized efficiently. His diet aimed to provide the necessary nutrients without waste. The goal was to maximize nutritional efficiency, paralleling the efficiency of his heavy-duty training. Mentzer placed great emphasis on total caloric intake as the primary factor for weight gain or fat loss, rather than on strict adherence to macronutrients. Arnold Schwarzenegger's victory, a last-minute return to competition after a 5-year retirement, came as a bolt from the blue and caused widespread outrage. Many observers agreed that Arnold's physical condition was significantly below his previous standards, particularly in 1974 and 1975. He was perceived as lacking the definition and muscular fullness he had displayed in the past, especially in his lower body, legs. Arnold appeared to be at a disadvantage in terms of conditioning and muscularity compared to other top-flight competitors, such as Chris Dickerson, who finished second, and Frank Zane, who finished third, despite a previous injury. The judges were largely composed of people considered friends or allies of Arnold, raising accusations of political or biased judgment. The controversy was so great that CBS, which was scheduled to broadcast the event, refused to air the contest, deeming it fixed. Mentzer brought to the stage a physique that combined impressive mass, especially in his upper body, shoulders and arms, with excellent definition and muscle separation. While there was some criticism of his hip width, a weak point in comparison to Zane, his physique embodied a combination of extreme muscularity and symmetry that many considered superior to Arnold's that year. Mike Mentzer finished 5th with 280 points, tied with Boyer Coe 4th. Despite the tie in total points, Mentzer was ranked 5th, a placement he and many others found unfair given his condition and his victory in the heavyweight division at the previous year's Olympia. Until his death, Mentzer maintained that the contest was rigged to ensure Arnold's victory.
I'm going, what the hell happened? Even Frank Zane, he saw me backstage, he goes, Mike, what happened? Since yesterday, you lost your cut. And then I realized it was something called ceviche. You know, you've heard that. Full of salt.
It's in a brine.
Yeah, brine. Luckily for me, my 2 top competitors just didn't have the shape.
Was Will Coach and you?
Will Coach, that guy from Canada, I forget his name.
Oh, yeah.
A move intended to maximize media interest and the event's commercial value. While he never claimed he should win, he believed that Mentzer, Coe, Dickerson and Zane should all finish ahead of Arnold. Thanks to all our Iron friends for making it this far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and activate the bell icon. We're working to make ever better videos and we'll try to improve over time.